Mellow greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet. And I have spent the last 3 days looking at pictures like that. And I feel like we need to have a talk about Copaganda. Because apparently there are way too many of you out there in the streets who don't understand you're a part of it. And there's way too many of you reading about it on the backside who believe it. So let me explain to you how the protest cycle usually goes when things go hard. So, people start to protest. You get a few days of sustained protest. And, after the police have to work a bunch of shifts and they decide they're just kind of bored with it, what'll happen is they come out en masse and they flex their power and they put on all their military equipment that your tax dollars paid for not once, but twice. And then they come out and they flex their power. We're the police state. Everybody scatters and then they come back. And then they keep coming back, and then they keep coming back. And the police escalate, and they tear gas everybody, and they pepper spray everybody. And then they set up curfews, and when the sun goes down, they beat the crap out of people. And then if that isn't enough, they start murdering people with, quote, less than lethal weapons, which is kind of ironic considering how many people they kill with them. Perhaps they're not less than lethal, but I digress. And eventually the police come to a point where they break, and they have to sue for peace. And the first thing they do is they engage in Copaganda. And they go, listen, we tried to beat the crap out of these protesters for a week. They just keep coming back. Fine, let's just tell them that they're right and we agree that police violence is horrible. And we're going to go out there, when the sun's up and we're going to kneel with them. We're going to stand with them. Look at the solidarity. Look at those cops. They're kneeling with all those protesters kneeling. Like, look, we feel your pain. We feel your pain. We're just like you. We're just people, which means we're really tired. They're not honoring vacations. It's summertime. And if I don't take my wife and my 2 kids to our summer house in Cape Cod, someone's going to lose their mind and I'm going to end up with paying a third alimony. So this is usually the move. Now, this usually occurs during daytime hours with community leaders who organize protests. Community leaders is another word for people who have one foot in each camp and seek to constantly benefit themselves by saying, I'm a man of the people. Oh, but I can also speak to the state. Yeah, those people. Those are those horrible people who only show up where there's cameras and microphones and then they vanish again. Yet those people, they're the ones who arrange the Copaganda. So if you're a person and you go to a protest when Copaganda is happening, essentially you are unpaid background for marketing material to show that the police are just like the rest of us. Yeah, it's usually one person that benefits from that. So this has become a commonplace thing. It'll happen during the daytime. Community leaders, they make sure they send out press releases. The press comes, they get all these great pictures. I mean, the press has just been on fire with this stuff. Look, I mean, it is everywhere. And when I tell you everywhere, I'm not exaggerating because I'm going to show you a nice little spread all across the country, okay? This is Bellevue, Washington. Bellevue police chief takes knee amid open dialogue with protesters. See? Do you see that good camera angle? You know why that camera angle is there? Because this is Copaganda, okay? There was a press release set out. They let all the press set up in a beautiful semicircle. They coned it off. The officer comes out with the protesters. We're with you. Solidarity. Look, I'm listening to you. I hear you. I, too, know what it's like to be frightened. You can feel the energy, right? Here you go. Des Moines, Iowa. Take a knee. Protest at Des Moines police station ends with police officers kneeling. Look at them. I feel your pain, people. Look at me. I'm kneeling with you. I'm kneeling with you. We made sure one of the cops was a person of color just to make sure they were on that headline image in the video. Here you go. Look, they're all kneeling behind their protective steel barricade, but there they are, right? Can you feel it? Look, and the crowd cheers as Des Moines police officers take a knee. Woo! Hi! We're here with this community leader who set up this whole fucking thing of Copaganda. We're going to give you some background noise. Woo! And you see all those cameras? Yeah. And all of this goes on your local 5 p.m. news. Yeah, it does. Police take a knee in solidarity. Prayer. With protesters in South Florida. They're even praying together. Look at this. Miami-Dade Corrections. Yes, very fine folk there. Look, it's all over the country. Look at the Copaganda. It's everywhere. Look at it. Oh, they're taking a knee. Oh, we feel you, protesters. We feel you. It's got to be horrible. Hey, George Floyd protests in Schenectady remain peaceful. Police chief and officers take a knee in solidarity. Yeah, because that's how they do it in Schenectady. Look at them. Look. We feel you. Look. I'm wearing a riot helmet. Look at all these cops taking a knee with riot helmets on, with their thin blue line flag decal on the front of their police shield. That's amazing, huh? But look, they're taking a knee in solidarity. Yeah, look, we're human beings too. We feel you. Santa Cruz police chief kneels with peaceful protesters. By the way, all this kneeling happened in the same 36-hour span. It's almost like it was coordinated, but how dare I say that, right? Yeah, even in Ferguson, Missouri, where Mike Brown was killed back in 2015 and Black Lives Matter took off, even there, the cops are taking a knee with the protesters. They're showing you that they really care. The NYPD, which literally spends billions a year on their policing, has clocked so much overtime and they're so tired. They're like, listen, how about we just take a knee? We'll show you we care. You know, we'll call it a day. Y'all can go home. Okay, we got you. You protested. We heard you. We're good. Right? And everything's honky-dory. This is Copaganda. This is what happens after the state beats the shit out of people and people still keep coming back. Because now the violence has been escalated to a point where it can only get horribly worse. And the police don't want to have to do that because the marketing is ridiculous. Look at how bad they're trying to market away this. I mean, look at cops kneeling. You know they have to hate this, right? Right? You know this is just pissing them off more. So here's the problem. When you do too much of that, you end up with this. Yeah, those are the cops in Buffalo taking a knee in front of all these protesters back here. We feel your pain, right? There you go. Yeah, 24 hours later, they're pushing that guy to the pavement until cracked his head on the ground so hard there was blood running out of his ears, and then 20 other cops just walked by him. Yeah, that actually happened, okay? So I think maybe, perhaps, y'all should stop buying the Copaganda. And here's why you don't kneel with cops. Because one day they're kneeling in front of you doing performatory theater, and the next day they're kneeling on top of you. It's Copaganda, ladies and gentlemen. It is utterly and completely clown shit. So stop it, okay? Don't believe the hype. Here's why you don't believe the hype, people. Police officer removed from patrol after disturbing Instagram posts during violent protests. Yeah, this is him. So this guy was posting, this cop, he was posting pictures on his Instagram. He beat so many people that his baton was filled with blood and he was flicking the blood off and then taking pictures of it and showing it to everybody. Bro getting his. There you go. That's the caption. Bro getting his. Yeah. Look at that. Woo. Protect and serve. These are the same people who were just out kneeling hours before. Kneeling in front of the camera. So that you'd be nice to them. Look what they're doing now. This is never going to stop happening, okay? Cobb County approves retirement for cop who says, "We only kill black people." Yeah, that's right. Remember the guy who was kneeling down? I feel your pain, protesters. I feel your pain. I'm just like you. Yeah, I'm white, but I'm a cop and I'm not racist. I feel your pain. Look, I'm taking a knee. Oh, by the way, don't worry, white people, because we only kill black people. Lieutenant Greg Abbott was caught on camera telling a woman, "We only kill black people," during a traffic stop. The woman, who appears to be white, was nervous about reaching for a phone in front of the officer. "But you're not black," he can be heard telling the woman in dashcam video. "Remember, we only kill black people." Yeah, there you go. Whoop, whoop. Hey, here's video camera, body camera of the police arresting a black man for exercising. Also, this was taken on June 5th, right after the performatory theater of kneeling. Hey, look, there you go. 5 cops to arrest a guy jogging. Hey, where's the kneeling?
Sir, just go to the ground.
How come? Oh, there's no TV cameras. That's why they're not kneeling.
Get this arm up. Pull up your hand now. Pull out your arm. Get your arm up.
He was jogging outside his home in this nice suburban area, because black people actually do live in nice suburban areas and they do go jogging. And just because they're not carrying a TV, it doesn't mean they're looters and rioters and burglars on their way to go steal something and you just caught them empty-handed. Okay? Look at this. But remember, they kneel with you. They feel your pain. So here's what I'm going to do, everybody. This is how I'm going to spend the rest of our time together.
These are cops right here, destroying everything.
And I'm going to read off all the people who have been killed by the police since the police took a knee and started protesting for performative theater, while I let you watch all the times that they beat, tear gassed, and maimed people. Okay? That's what we're going to do for the rest of the day. How does that sound? Okay? That's what we're going to do. Because if the police are putting out all this Copaganda to make sure you view them in the most positive light, I'm going to make sure that you see what they do rather than what they say. Okay? Here we go. You ready? Let's go down the list, everybody. Let's see. Let's look down the list. Minneapolis, Calvin Horton Jr. died after being fatally shot during the protest. In Detroit, a 21-year-old man was killed when fired upon in downtown Detroit, police and protesters exchanging fire. Let's see. In St. Louis, Missouri, a 29-year-old protester named Barry Perkins died after being run over by a FedEx truck who was trying to escape a riot instigated by police. In Omaha, Nebraska, a 22-year-old protester named James Scurlock was fatally shot outside a bar. The shooter was the owner of the bar. Imagine that. There's no charges. Don't worry. Nobody's going to jail. Let's see. In Kettering, Ohio, 22-year-old Sarah Grossman, a recent graduate of Ohio State University, died in a hospital from acute respiratory issues after she was in a group sprayed with tear gas at a demonstration in Columbus, Ohio. Don't worry, they haven't even bothered to do an autopsy yet. In Indianapolis, 2 people were fatally shot in the vicinity of protests. One of them was an 18-year-old African-American male, killed around 2:30 in the morning. A 29-year-old white man turned himself into police as the shooter. He was actually charged with murder. In Louisville, Kentucky, local restaurateur David McCate was killed as a Louisville Metro Police and Kentucky National Guard curfew patrol fired at him. Authorities allege that the patrol returned fire after he fired at them. However, the alleged gunshot occurred after the patrol appeared to fire a pepper ball into the restaurant, striking his niece in the head. According to the victim's sister, the gathering was not a protest, but a regularly scheduled social gathering at which he served food from his barbecue restaurant. An investigation is ongoing. The police chief was fired later that day as officers and troops involved in the shooting all simultaneously and magically failed to activate their body cameras. Imagine that. It's almost like when the cops are going to go to execute you, they turn their cameras off. Wow. In Davenport, Iowa, 2 people were fatally shot on a night after a significant protest. One appears to have been shot by the police. An investigation is ongoing. In Cicero, Illinois, 2 people were fatally shot in separate incidents following an afternoon of unrest. The town spokesperson claims that the shots were fired by outside agitators. Also, both men, Jose Gutierrez, Victor Cazares Jr. Yeah, Wow, imagine that. I wonder who killed those two very Latino men in the middle of a protest in Cicero, Illinois. Crazy. Hey, in Las Vegas, police shot and killed George Gomez. Gomez was walking among protesters as his demonstration was coming to an end and reportedly reached for his firearm. You know, the one that he was illegally open carrying, because in Nevada, they have open carry. Let's see. In Vallejo, California, Sean Monterosa, a 22-year-old man, was shot and killed by police while on his knees. Monterosa lifted his hands, which revealed a 15-inch hammer tucked in his pocket, mistaken for a handgun. A police officer in a vehicle then fired on him 5 times through the windshield, and he died at the hospital. Imagine that. The day after his death, police revealed that there had been an officer-involved shooting at a press conference, yet declined to offer further details, including the name of the officer involved. In Bakersfield, California, Robert Forbes, a 50-year-old man, was killed after being struck by a vehicle while marching between California Avenue and Oak Street. The incident was caught on video and distributed widely on social media. He slowly died in a hospital. Took him 3 days to pass away from his injuries. Police denied that he was hit intentionally, and the police did not restrain the driver with handcuffs and allowed him to smoke a cigarette and hang out. Nice. In addition, there have been numerous reports and videos of aggressive police actions, using physical force as well as batons, tear gas, pepper spray, and rubber bullets on protesters, bystanders, and journalists without warning and seemingly unprovoked. These incidents have provoked growing concern that aggressive law enforcement tactics intended to impose order were instead inflaming tensions. There have been at least 8 people who have had their eyes shot out, including one of them, a journalist. 8 people. It's almost like the police are aiming for people's eyes. Imagine that. But don't worry, because the people who are doing this are the same people who are taking a knee, and they want you to know that they are just one of you. They feel your pain. You've protested, and they've heard you. Oh, wait, what's that? It's 8 p.m. and the sun's going down? Excuse me, now I have to put on a tear gas mask and kill people. Okay? So everybody, don't believe the hype. Don't believe cops taking a knee. And don't listen to the Copaganda. Okay? Protesters have been running the police around for the better part of 2 weeks, and they're exhausted. They are utterly and completely exhausted. And now they're suing for peace. So I implore all of you, if you are out there protesting, if you are on the ground, if you are passing around stuff on social media, keep doing it. Do not let up. Just because some city council people say they're talking about defunding the police, or some of the police are taking a knee, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? You got to put your foot on the gas. You got to keep going full speed, because the police are ready to break. And people know it.